I'm gonna tell her.
You are totally not doing this.
We will get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. So if you obviously her books are on sale back there. They're $15 each, and we're just going to give people a couple more minutes to get in, and then we'll get started with the reading. And Claudia is so excited and not nervous at all to be here.
He used to be a friend.
You. All right, we're going to get started here. Claudia, you can't avoid this any longer. My name is Marty Acketts, and I'm, among other things, the Adult Programming Coordinator here at Peter White Public Library. So welcome to Peter White if you have never been here before, and if you have been here before, welcome back. I'm just going to thank one group, that is the Friends of Peter White Public Library. They provide so much in the way of what we do here, funds and everything and support, and they purchased all the live streaming equipment. So those of you that are joining us from far and away, from Brooklyn, wherever you're joining us, you can thank the Friends of Peter White Public Library for that. So I'm just going to highlight a couple things that are upcoming. Next Monday, starting at 6 p.m., we have our monthly Writers on Writing series, and we have a really wonderful writer. She is here tonight. Kathleen Heidemann is going to be doing a writing workshop starting at 6 p.m. in the Shiras room upstairs on Monday. If you are interested in that, there are some spots still left. We are limited to about 15 participants, so if you want to do that, you can just go to the pwpl.info to the events page and register for that. And if you have trouble doing that, just send me a message, because I have been known to register people who have problem like that. And then also next week, Thursday, we have another wonderful, wonderful reading as part of the Marquette Poet Circle and collaboration with Any News Visiting Writer Series. We have Jonathan Johnson, who is going to be reading from his 2 new books. He's got one, a collection of poetry, and also a collection of short fiction. The poetry collection is called Pine, and the collection of short fiction is called The Little Lights of Town. So I really encourage you to come out that night. That's next Thursday, November 13th at 6:30 p.m. And then the last thing that I'm going to highlight is our Friendraiser concert, which is going to be happening on Monday, November 17th. We have 2 really world-class guitarists, Richard Gilwitz and Tim May, who are going to be doing a concert at 6:30 p.m. For those of you that have children, they're going to to be doing a free guitar workshop for children at 4 p.m. Right here in the community room. So if you have grandkids or children and you would think they would enjoy that, they can come. And Richard and Tim are going to talk about playing the guitar and showing how to do the guitar. But Richard is, they're both world-class guitarists. Tim May is currently touring with Kathy Mattea, and he's taking time out of his concert to come here. So that's pretty impressive. And then Richard, among other things, he's just released his self-titled album, Gilwitz, which I think is like 17th album or 17,000th album. But he has quite the resume as well. One of the things that he did do was he played in the Atlanta Olympics opening ceremonies. So these two, they've been around, and they're really fantastic. It is a ticketed event, $5 per ticket for that, but I guarantee you that $5 is well spent because you'll get a great concert and you're going to be supporting other programs here at the library. So please come out for that if you have a chance. All right, so I get to introduce this lady here. I think this is a night that everybody here that has known Claudia for a very long time have been waiting for. Haven't we been waiting for this a very long time? Yes. Claudia is wonderful. She shows up and she is always everybody's biggest fan. She shows up for poetry events and she cheers us on, and now it's our turn to cheer her on for this wonderful, wonderful accomplishment of the publication of her debut collection. So you probably all know a lot about Claudia, but I will tell you a few things, personal things, I know she's waiting for this. So Claudia and I have been friends for, almost as long as I've known my wife, and that's 35 years. So we have been friends, compatriots, poets in arms together for that whole time. Claudia, working with Claudia on this manuscript, it was one of the best times I've ever had working with a writer, because I've never laughed so much in my life as when I was working with Claudia. We were both just, if you had stood outside our door and listened to us, all you would have heard was laughter, and not just chuckles. We're talking the kind of laughter where you lose your voice and are trying to get breath. She is that wonderful and that funny, and she her poetry. What? I'm going home. And her poetry is the same way. That's what I want to say, because you read this and you get Claudia's sense of humor. You get her humanity. You get her. Claudia is on this page. She is absolutely on this page. Every poem that you read in this book is a gift, an absolute gift that comes from this woman here who has been making everybody feel really great about themselves for so long, about their work. And she's so supportive and encouraging, and I am just so honored to be able to stand here and honor her and celebrate her today.
How much money did you want?
Well, we'll talk. So, anyway, without further ado, let's give Claudia Drosen a big Peter White Public Library welcome.
Yeah, he's got to put it on Munchkin now.
There we go. I think we can catch her now. Here we go.
I don't know. Get away. I'm not used to that. I don't have my flute. I'm used to. Okay. Hi, I'm Claudia. It's really nice to meet all of you. I know a lot of you already, but Brooklyn is where I started, and now I'm in the UP. And that's what this book is. It's kind of an odyssey of my crazy life. In the meantime, thank you for being here. I try to be all caustic and all that, but I'm really choked up right now looking at your faces. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to UP Poet Laureate and internationally renowned multilingual poet Dr. Beverly Mathern, sitting right there, teacher, friend, and a person who encouraged me as a non-trad NMU grad student to step out of my musical career and go for a master's in creative writing. I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much. I'm glad to know and to be in the presence of a brilliant hometown poet and prose writer, Dr. Jonathan Johnson, who luckily for me has become a friend too. He spent precious time going over my manuscript, and he hardly even swore. You know, his magic is his words. He's authored many books, been anthologized in Best American Poetry, holds a post at Eastern Washington University as a professor of the MFA program, and he states, "At my best and most sincere, I write poetry as a call, an invitation, sometimes a plea for the wisdom and company of my own life, something not unlike prayer, I suppose. It is the result, if the result is helpful and companionable for someone else, if it does this for another person and other poetry has done for me, wonderful." I'm thankful to Ronnie Ferguson. Thank you for every molecule of your being, for helping me, for publishing me, for doing the work that you do at Harvard Square, for adding your books to my life and your skill and kindness and your films and yada, yada, yada. Thank you so much. Thank you to former UP Poet Laureate and author of many volumes of poetry, Russ Thorburn, who has been so helpful for many years to me, and I have watched him share his beautiful vision. Thanks to Marty Achatz, who I call a breather of poetry. His discipline and his imagination result in him forging a range of poems both serious and hilarious, and I love hilarious. He gives of himself freely, professes his art at NMU, and when we stopped laughing in our get-togethers, he made detailed effort in editing my work. He's a scholar and a lovable nut. Thank you, Janine and Rick Rastel and Matt Mackey, for making sure that our getting together for impromptu fun at first, a bunch of years back, turned into the Marquette Poets Circle, and the excitement of crafting gems out of words in the forms of workshops, performances, and books. They are all such wonderful friends, giving souls, and great poets. And I have been dealing with some medical problems over the years, and I have not been able to come to all of the Poets Circle readings, but my heart is always with you, and I hope to join you as much as I can. Thank you to that dude back there. 51 years we've been married and haven't killed each other. Not yet. He's a mathematician, and he has logic, and I don't have any. But fortunately, we both have love, and he has given me more than I deserve in my life. Thank you so much. We met in Milwaukee in college, and we're still ticking. Thank you to my brave and innovative musical parents, my clinical psychologist brother, for their love, support, and inspiration they shared with me in the arts and sciences. And thank you very much to my crazy friend, illustrator, cartoonist, and teacher of art out in the West, James Fegan, who did the cover for me. At first, he wanted to do me sitting in a bagel. And then I said, if you want this gig, you're going to have to change your tune. So he put me sitting on top of the Brooklyn Bridge, which is what I wanted. So here we go. I have some poems, and I would like to share them, and if you fall asleep, that's totally cool. Okay. What should I start? I had all kinds of organized things in my mind, but again, my husband's back there, so who knows? I can't be organized. The first one I'll read you is just to get you acquainted a little bit with Brooklyn. Brooklyn is an interesting, eclectic sort of place with a lot of different melting pot people. I grew up there many years ago. I won't share my age for you because you can Google it. But the first poem is called The Neighborhood, East Flatbush. And I see by my incredible notes here that it's on page 14. The Neighborhood, East Flatbush. Welcome to Brooklyn, late 1950s. I'm pushing 7, you know. Captain Kangaroo, Howdy Doody, Rice Krispies in front of the black and white Philco. Second grade at PS 222 is spitting distance from my front porch. The porch with the Adirondack chairs, heavily sat upon, paint starting to peel. The porch with the stained stone pots, filled with spicy geraniums. The porch identical to the next 30 or so porches in a row. But wait, the stoop leading to each neighbor's porch is painted a different color. Green steps for the Feigenbaums, a sky blue stoop at the DeLucas, a rainbow reigns with each step down to the sidewalk that flanks our humble 34th Street. Grandma whispers about gangs in the unsafe neighborhoods, her concerned hands cupped around her mouth like she does when she says money or cancer. My big brother likes to act like gangs are cool, but to me, classy Flatbush Avenue is cool. We visit that busy street every Saturday, Grandma more perfumed than usual, and me dolled up in white gloves, patent leather purse, knees together. She cranes her neck to point her mouth above the market's deli case and asks for nice belly locks, quarter pound, please. We window shop, we talk. Then we lunch. At Schraft's, it's really fancy there. I have the same yummy thing each time. A chicken salad sandwich, small root beer, and later a hot fudge sundae with nuts. While we're waiting, Grandma smiles at me, saying she's proud of her little lady. I know she's being nice, but I feel like the word lady is kind of old-fashioned, and I'm way more me in my dungarees. On weekdays, after working at Grandpa's plumbing supply store, Dad eases the two-tone blue Pontiac into the garage and tugs the door shut. Another day, another deep sigh from the folks as they kiss hello. If it's Tuesday, Mom quickly scrapes scraps off the dishes, grabs her spot on the sofa, and prepares to laugh along with Uncle Milty. It's just what you do. Simple. You're welcome to the neighborhood. So that's a little taste of what it's like. And I will continue with the Brooklyn stuff because I don't have a whole lot of time to fill you in more. So I have to read you this one because it's called The Nostril People. And I don't think there are too many poems called The Nostril People. So. It's July 1956. Man, I'm giving this away, aren't I? I'm freaking old. Air like bathwater. I'm in a steel muscle car stroller rolling down the Coney Island boardwalk. I'm the only one strolling. The large people, mommy, daddy, brother, walk. With purpose, with confidence, with blinding speed. New Yorkers don't stroll. Family limbs lunge, pushing me through traffic. When I lean my head against the back of my chariot, I spy a sextet of nostrils over fast-moving lips. We weave around a loud crowd. Oops, sorry, excuse me, rolling, rolling. Swirls of giant all-day suckers, sweet cotton candy, blue, pink, purple, nickels, dimes, clinking, rolling, rolling. Bleach-white clouds mingle with Ferris wheel squeals. Down here, the nostril gang bumps me past other lowly stroller dwellers, bringing sand-filled, floppy-sandaled, crimson-toenailed Brooklynites back and forth, close and far. I whine. I want a sucker. Ooh, look at that high ride. Can we go in the water now? But the nasal drivers ignore me as they push, swerve. Excuse me, sorry, coming through. We are racing to find Coney Island fun. I thought we were here. Wasn't that it? Not stopping. It's somewhere, not sure where, but I guess we'll get there first. Okay, there are a lot of Jewish people in Brooklyn, and on 34th Street, there are many, many Jewish people, and then at the end were the DeLucas, and they had Christmas, and they had all the colors. And it was so cool. And we had our, 8 days of Hanukkah, big frickin' deal, But anyway, so that's just sort of breaking you into what this is about. This poem is called Avenue S. Shul, which is a synonym for temple. Brooklyn, 1964. The Sabbath. No wonder there's a line leading up to the shul. On Saturdays, temple attracts almost as big a crowd as Saperstein's meets. Furs feature collars so fluffy that salon-coiffed woman heads shrink to doll size. Thelma, from 3 doors down, reeks of Jean Naté. Noisy, regular folks pass through the door, assemble calmly in reverence. Heads covered, the ladies pray, while thinking of what to do with last night's leftovers, wondering what Monday's search for tomorrow will reveal. The men, thinking of last night's boxing match, fretting about the upcoming business inventory report, follow suit, their bare heads lowered. Polite kids wear stiff smiles, ties, shoes, crinolines, try not to fidget. They sit nicely for what feels like weeks. Words heavily laced with sounds like the tongue sticking out in blech are sewn together by the rabbi, reading from a dictionary of a book, pages edged in gold, while the cantor cries his songs. The 2 important men sport heavy, long coats, scarves, all blue and gold. Inside, a scarf? It's warm as toast in here. After the final amen, the young congregants waddle off to the curb like clumsy penguins. They stand there looking for cars as neighborhood moms and dads bring up the rear, pick up their newsy gossip where they left off. The last Oldsmobile goes by. The kids burst across the holy boundaries into the street, scot-free, squealing, back to Avenue R and beyond. Saturday lunch, their bikes. Thank God. Okay, am I going too fast? No? Okay. I don't usually talk about the poems, I just go in and do it. But this one's called The 64s, and it's about crayons. I was good, really. Everybody said. I still am. I don't drive more than 10 over the speed limit. I don't lie, except to tell a dear friend I think her haircut came out just fine. But that one year, and I'm not sure why, I was bad. That was when my passion for crayons bloomed, and I began my avocation as a petty thief. I was 8. You have to understand that these were Crayolas, not the box of 8 either, the big one, the 64 different brilliant colors, the ones like the box with the periwinkle, the magenta. True, you had to endure the cornflower blue. No matter how hard you pressed on that one, you couldn't put down enough color with it. I could actually make it lousy. The picture would be ruined. And the cadet blue, don't even ask. Lucky for kids today, that color was terminated. Anyway, it was worth it to get the great colors, red, orange, midnight blue. I had a box of 48, the tall one. So there was no real need for more, but I wanted the wide suburban sprawl of the 64s, not to mention the sharpener. I could have asked my mom for them, but I didn't want to seem ungrateful. I already had crayons. So I did what I could. I took them. I ripped them off. I pilfered them. Not all, just some. Her name was Feline. She was French. Her family was nice to me, and she was a good friend. Her braids were perfect. Feline owned the 64s. They were still pretty pointy, too. We used them at her house to fill in picture after newsprinty picture in our 101 Dalmatians coloring books. Lying on the floor, on our bellies, our legs frogged out behind us, we stuck out our tongues as we colored with the tinier, more difficult lines. We agreed to outline everything boldly but carefully before we colored it in. And we tried, with every molecule of our beings, not to pop out of the lines. We colored around the spots of the Dalmatians for authenticity with white. We did backgrounds, we laughed, and Feline really trusted me. Not a good idea, since I've already explained the decision to do a bad thing. Her room was quiet. It helped that she had thick carpeting to dampen the noise. I had linoleum with immature little stars on mine. Her mother would knock and deliver Hawaiian punch in glass glasses. We had to keep them on coasters on her night table, far from the carpeting, of course. When I left Feline's room, I would walk carefully down the staircase to the living room, trying not to drop the crayon set I stole. maybe 2 or 3. I don't even think I stole more than 10 the whole time I did it. I put them in the wide waistband of my dirndl skirt that one year. The next year, Feline moved. Okay, we're going to go to the UP now because I only lived in Brooklyn for 15 years, and I have lived here for, I think it's going on 300 now. Anyway, okay, page 71. Marty, stop me if I get way too verbose here. Snow directions. Forget the dishes in the sink. Ignore dust, bills, holes in socks. You'll want to put on an extra pair anyway. You may feed the fish, water the plants, scratch the bellies of the animals, who I assume you already fed first thing in the AM, but please do not answer the door, any texts. Do not let thoughts about the boy in your 8th grade art class who might have been the one distract you. The trajectory of your adult life so far is a fine one. The people, the work, the terrain you've chosen to navigate, all good, sustainable. No more Brooklyn. You're in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan now. A major blizzard is underway. Your semi-rural acreage rapidly changing. Be part of it. Leave your phone next to your car keys, turn up your collar, wrap your scarf a few times around your neck, ears, nose, find mittens. Thick, but not necessarily matching. Prepare to squint. Okay, now go outside. Feel the suction as you pull open the door. Close it quickly and hard. Enter winter. When you are out, take it all in. Tip your chin skyward. Open your mouth for a meal of snowflakes. Pretend you're a kid, though you've been adulting for so long. May have a checkered past, biases about many issues, ingrained certainties. With sorrel-clad feet, boldly pank down virgin white fluff, forging the first footpath of the day. Don't start your pickup. Leave it and its truck-shaped headdress untouched. Resist the urge to redecorate the Elmer glue drifts with a shovel. Be excited about the tallness of the trees. See the scalloped white snow boughs overhanging the roof, already rife with ice dams. Dream that you never have to clear those. Contemplate this rural scene, how it resembles the Woolworth's cardboard paint-by-numbers kit your mom got you when you really were a kid. Get back out of your head now. Savor that silence. Wiggle clinging clumps off low-hanging bushes. Whisper hello to the crows because you feel like it. Nobody's around, and find it funny that you know these birds are sizing you up. You saw that documentary. Smile about what you are doing, how little you need. Your mittens still on? Do not go in if you can feel or bend your fingers through them. Go in when your heart gets warm. Okay. Then parking lots, snow plows, snow piles is another UP poem. It's a fantasy. Farewell, unbeautiful man-shoved heaps, darkly peppered with polluted gunk. Hello and welcome, improved feet-tall ice season's leavings with not even one fleck of salt or sand mixed in. Gone are the singed, canned heat, overcooked meringue peaks. These new hills, not truck-heaved, but divinely conceived, where baby booty white are rounded, cushiony, and chaste. Crag-free, unclimbable, nowhere to wedge a booted foot, these towering piles no longer blemish the all-terrain. Now they are Michelin Man mountains, soft as marshmallow fluff, with fresh folds carefully piped out of nature's fanciest cake tips. Okay, where was I going to go now? I'm a lover of the moon, all things celestial. All right, I stayed in bed last night when the northern lights were out. I already went out at midnight, but I didn't get out at 3. So anyway, this poem is called Mall Moon, and it is quite a moon. 41. Excuse me. Mall Moon. Eva, my friend from forever ago, is talking up a storm in the Gateway Center parking lot about how she saved $13 on this yellow dress. She seemed so proud of her skills, I let her chatter on. Heading home from this too-long shopping trip, feet swollen, we heave our spoils into the back seat of her just-washed Mini Cooper and settle in with an ah. She is still yakking about belts and earrings as we merge onto the highway and witness this moon hung above everything, crimson as pictures of Mars I'd seen in the Britannica as a child. "Oh, the moon looks pretty nice tonight," Eva says. But the round giant makes me gasp. Looks so close, so real, so fake. One night on vacation a few years back, I saw a moon looming enormous and eerie like that, but my husband blamed it on debris in the atmosphere. Ned was never very romantic, but his name isn't Ned, so it's not about him. He said it looked like a piece of pepperoni stuck up there. To me, it was celestial Hollywood. Eva and I had searched the mall for a bit of excitement, trying on lacy, vermilion nightgowns, sampling perfumes called Enchantress and Diamond Fantasy. And all the time, the really intoxicating jewel was right above our heads, a hard candy begging to be bitten, flanked by the lighted windows of high-rise apartments. I know, the moon is real. People much braver than me or Eva have actually floated around up there, taken a token of rock. But down here, with just eyes, without the special suits, it seemed to be scotch taped to the sky, following us around, out of our hands' grasp, out of our minds' grasp, just put there to beam us up and out of the world of yellow dresses and shopping malls. I think we need a short one now. Page 38. What a dove does. As dawn crowns, the soft modal chant of a mourning dove fills dead air. At first phrase, his oral lament strictly calibrates to new sun exiting moon tronomes. But in the blink of an avian eye, he relaxes his coo. Using musical license as his guide, he makes a retard at the end of each repetition. The same each time, breaking your heart each time. Okay. I think I will read a silly one, page 79. 79, what a silly page. I'm skipping around, I'm not even following my previous organization here. Okay, so if I read something 3 times, just tell me. This is called What I'd Like. And it's got a lot of parentheses in here because a lot of the poetry courses I took, they said, well, don't use parenthetical authorial intrusion in your poems. Don't get in the way, just like be real, be right now. So this is called What I'd Like. Paren, I'd like to use parenthetical authorial intrusion from time to time in this piece. Some other time, perhaps, because it's clear we're both just too busy now, I'd like to really see you. Maybe Friday afternoon, or in a few weeks when things slow down a bit. I'd like to bump into you at what used to be the old Henderson's Hardware on 8th and Grand, but is now a stark, laser-bright beverage hangout called No Consequences, and have sex with your smile. At some point, or in a minute, although I realize it's not exactly feasible, I'd like to forget it's snowing. Again, the trash is over the top, the checkbook is $29 overdrawn, I'm out of clean underwear. When the time seems right, I don't want to appear too eager, but how does later tonight sound? I'd like to become a student of your serene face until a fluttering in my chest, a hotness in my cheeks, earns me an advanced degree in what's behind your eyes. Excuse me. Eventually, after checking my guilt at the door like a rap, I'd like to ease the heaviness of caring about who's starving, who's homeless, who's bombing who, or is it whom? to erase the caring about whether it's who or whom. One of these days, regardless of what just came out in theaters this week, I'd like to see our watches, be they Timex, Rolex, hell, even Apple, smashed under the slushy wheels of a city bus, lose track of whether it's Miller time or closing time or bedtime, and take a leisurely tandem sip with you of our no-whip mochachinos, through darkness then light, not noticing either. I'm not 100% sure the parenthetical intrusion works, or the poem, I just like parentheses. Oh, jeez. You still good? All right. This is about my daughter, who is 41, so I'm at least 42. Those bowls, that spoon. She is a veterinary technician, my daughter. She is grown up now. When she can, she comes to the UP from the LP to visit, to breathe, to throw sticks into Ma Superior for her dogs to bring back and bring back and bring back, to really be home. Part of home is her rote movement to the kitchen cupboard that holds the dark red glass bowls. It doesn't matter if she's had a number 3 extra cukes at Jimmy John's along the road on her way up. She wants cereal 5 minutes after she arrives, and it wouldn't be cereal in another bowl. She talks to me about work, her boyfriend, do I like her new glasses, on top of the familiar clatter that says home. Honey bunches of oats hit the red rim, fly onto the floor. The dog positions her mouth right under the sweet clusters, celebrates our visitor's return. I paid $1 for 4 of those bowls at St. Vinny's many years ago, when sippy cups accessorized the table. Flannel-backed vinyl was the dinner-time decor of choice. Now they are etched by the dishwasher, having lived through so much. They don't say Mikasa underneath. They say nothing at all. But they stick around, and they do the job. True, they are chipped, but not enough to get rid of. I know I'd catch hell if I just tried it. I have pristine bowls that even shine, but she doesn't notice them at all. Her favorite spoon is not as big a deal as the bowl, but in the hierarchy of kitchenware, there is a pecking order, after all. She likes the one that's the size of a teaspoon, yet has a more rounded soup spoon look to it. It was part of a free set I got for depositing money in the bank. The others, flowers just about worn off the smooth steel, were donated to charity before I knew my daughter's dishware proclivities. They are now departed. Only this one remains. It bends like crazy when it meets the Ben & Jerry's. I've suggested she use the proper tool, a scoop. No, she just bends the spoon back after each use. And if it's not available at the moment, she washes it. Yes, you heard me. Our visits go well. She drives over, shares her life with me when she can get off work, needs those bowls, that spoon, the way she needed a doll at 5. Her grandma to spoil her when I said no. She is hungry for the security, the comfort of knowing what's behind the cupboard door. I keep those bowls around and wait for her to come. If one shatters, there are still 3 more on the shelf. When the spoon breaks from metal fatigue, I'll be there to console her. Marty, how am I doing? Do we want funny or not funny? Let's see. How about what do you think, page 33? Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. I thought you had a yen for that number. 33. It's on 33. This is kind of silly, but true. Going Greyhound, 1970. Be good if I could speak. I steal peeks at an appealing 45-ish man as our bus fumes across cities, states. He reads Marquez, scratches his head, stretches, yawns, sneers at a loud baby, downloads a Butterrum lifesaver, clears his throat, starts a crossword, squints out the window at road signs, blue-gray skies, bales of farm hay, tears into a Zagnut bar, stows the crinkly wrapper, hastens to the washroom somewhere near Des Moines. Glances at his watch outside Lincoln, eyes drifting downstream for a nap, a near smile painted across his dozing mouth. After a sharp turn, he jerks alert, tosses a lock of getting gray hair out of his eyes, combs the rest on a slant, guy style, buttons the sleeve of his creased shirt, tightens up his shoelaces, and readies for his destination to be garbled into a loudspeaker. His duffel-shouldered, I crane my neck his way, feeling childish and oddly sad as he descends those 3 awful rubber steps. Damn you, Dayton. There's a lot of poems about food in here. I like food. Maybe we should read, did I even? Yeah, I don't have a lot of them marked off. So I will read, well, yes, no, here's one. Serious cooking. Out of breath, 9-year-old pedal-pushered me careens down to Grandma's floor of our 2-family house with a yen for a grape popsicle. My rubber-soled sneaks skidding to a standstill when I remember what day it is and realize I better scram. I'm welcome any other time, just not Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, Grandma and her sister are not all that nice. It's their turn to produce beautiful food for the Avenue R Mahjong Club. The air is heavy, and the rule is no kids in the kitchen. I stay, though, under slight cover. The dish today is stuffed cabbage, and the 2 fast-talking superheroines of the kitchen argue in part English, part Yiddish, spitting verbal venom about tomatoes, about sweet, about sour, about it's done, about it's not done. Great Aunt Minnie's glasses dangle from a chain, bumping her ample bosom as she opens and closes drawers, searching for a ladle. Grandma shoves onion shavings from the counter to the sink while flashing Minnie the evil eye. "Men, you don't know where I keep the utensils after all these years?" Frilly, patterned Priscilla curtains chase out most of the daylight, but you can still see a piece of the city sun slicing through the window, now dressed in wavy lines of condensation. Believing their dedication will coax the magic, my possessed relations keep vigil over the speckled stockpot as if attending a patient about to code. They stand and wait in sensible shoes, ankles puffing out like new potatoes, beads of sweat dotting their penciled-on brows. I get out before I'm spied. Okay, not supposed to read this one, but I am anyway. It's called Fondue. I don't know who will resonate with this, but when we were married in 1974, the shit was fondue sets. I mean, not only did we get like 8 percolators or whatever then, but we got so many. And this is my fantasy about fondue. It's a little irreverent, as I tend to be, but I am really a spiritual broad, so. Mr. and Mrs. God finally used that fondue set they were given as a wedding gift. Wielding giant his and hers forks, they dunk the moon in a coating of light, the pale yellow of Gruyere cheese. It hangs above them, left to congeal, while they make love. So they finally used that. And while I'm in the nabes, I thought of bringing bagels here. I mean, Brooklynites are bagel crazy. We had places in Brooklyn that had neon signs that went, bagels, hot, you know. And I have this poem because being a heavy woman, you're not supposed to eat all those. In fact, my husband calls bagels lately death donuts. Anyway, this one's called Carb Unloading. You know, like carbo, okay. I eat kale every day. Kale is good and green and true and healthy, and I want to talk about bagels. The bagel I miss the most has practically no hole, making the buttocks of the bread too ample for a conventional toaster. No hole means the blimpy fare is sometimes nigh impossible to squish in a sandwich-sized Ziploc, but the payoff is well worth the minor pain in the ass. I miss ripping off parts of it with my teeth, my lips clinging just for a second to its shiny coating while nosing in its yeast. The diet gurus, smiling at me from their posts on the jackets of Amazonian books, warn me that I may not, in good health or with clear conscience, as a person of considerable girth, regardless of this starchy treasure's return in the way of mirth, sample anything but the hole in the middle of my coveted toasty ghost. It is my sincere hope that those gurus choke on a veiny-stemmed hunk of nutrient-rich dinosaur kale, or worse yet, run out of cream cheese. There's a good bagel place in town, 3rd Street Bagel. The others are fake. So if you're going to eat a bagel, go there. Martin?
Yes.
Okay.
Page 85.
Page 85? Are you for serious?
I'm good.
Jimmy told me not to read this one because I couldn't pull it off.
Read it.
Shoot. This one's called Kama Sutra with the C in the comma, C-O-M-M-A Sutra. And now the introduction is Kama Sutra with a K. A treatise written in Sanskrit, 4th to 7th centuries AD, setting forth rules for love and marriage in accordance with Hindu law. Kama Sutra with a C, a treatise written by an American poet in English, 21st century AD, setting forth rules of punctuation with respect to the comma, in accordance with her own completely made-up law. I'm going to try it. And I really need water, but I won't. Without the comma, you do not afford a reader his rightful leisure in verbally wading through a piece of writing that may be lengthy, perhaps complex, maybe even just hard to say in one breath without ceasing to articulate the various words at hand. And furthermore, it is really necessary to have this particular mark of punctuation because it can get most tedious to continue reading something that has no pauses in it whatsoever. And I think you know what I mean. I mean that it is, of course, nice and convenient that we have periods that we can employ to completely stop the action to make a kind of kamikaze landing at the end of one of those comma-less sentences. But just fathom the world, if you will, without the little swirl, and you will see that it really should be required by law in most states. I know you'll agree with me. Thank you. You stinker. The silent language of a working marriage. I hope to really educate you people. If not, edutain you, whatever. In the sun-striped living room, he sheds his shirt. Not for sex, for utility. After a Saturday Target run for Q-tips, coffee filters, kitty litter, clown-shaped birthday cards shouting, "You're for!" bounce sheets and flashlight batteries, we arrive back at our drive, close the car doors in almost unison, get licks from the smug cat, the jazzed-up dog, settle in to regroup before lunch. In the sweet quiet, we hear the dog gazelle back onto the couch, twirl 3 times, and sigh as she applies her foot brakes. "Oh, sorry, I left my husband bare-chested." He siphons about 10 gallons of old water out of the aquarium, squeaks off the algae from the glass, carries green bucket after green bucket, sorcerer's apprentice style, to the bathroom, building a new water bed for the fish. Jockeying back and forth down the narrow hall, we cross paths, me toting a laundry bin of folded towels. We step aside awkwardly, almost breaking out in laughter as if to say, "No, you go. No, please, I'll wait. You." He tires, kicks the bucket with one knee, water surging onto the carpet. He shakes his head as he silently swears. I repair to the nearby dining room table to sort through snail mail, decide if there's anything besides bills that need to be kept. Nothing. Zipping open credit card offers wearing 0% interest till the end of time, ads on their envelopes, coupons for sugar-laden drinks, flyers from starch-shirted, backward-thinking local politicians. I grimace at all the wasted paper. You woke me up. We don't talk out loud. We figure we'll do that at lunch. But we are talking. The air vibrates with a comfortable, tacit dialogue that fills the house like humidity fills the throne room. After the fish are free to explore their see-through digs, he hangs the new shower curtain without my prodding. I hear him unhook the old and install the new, both cascading over the tub like vinyl waterfalls. There really isn't much to discuss at lunch. An Amtrak accident. An Amtrak accident. I guess he must have lost his balance a bit, squeezing in behind me in line, his luggaged arm apparently charged with electric current, zapping me, branding a tingly patch on my back as this brand new guy scented the air with his leather jacket. He said he was sorry. I wasn't. It was like fresh drinking water, his touch. I didn't know what foods he loathed, whether he played an instrument, voted a straight ticket, preferred cats over dogs, had been smacked as a kid and thought it was really good for him, was too lazy to cook most nights when he might have graduated and from where. But this accidental bump out of the cold fluorescent crowd brought a kind of knowing that only bodies understand. The line having dispersed, he sat down next to me on the beige bench to wait for the train. I just laughed, a bit loudly at first. He looked confused, almost insulted. I told him I thought almost falling over in line was pretty funny. He laughed a little too, and once the last echoes of giggle were over, there remained a small burst of warmth between us. At least I thought so. The kind that comes from two who now believe that one is not, after all, so very much alone. Oh. 15 girl. And this is, I guess it's pretty similar. Well, no, it isn't. 15 girl. My aging bones and I exit the Cineplex. Despite rave reviews, the movie I just saw was at best a D-. A bevy of Bics flick to fiercely ignite craved cigarettes. Smartphones emerge from their cocoons. As I wait for a bit of street light to fall on my car keys, I hear the glossed lips of a girl beside me, 15 or so, whisper to a friend, "Oh my God, I'm starting to really like Tom." A chill runs down my creaky spine as I remember what really like is all about. Tom's heavy-lidded eyes, heavy-handed promises, the way 15 girl thinks his swollen Adam's apple is cute, his swollen other things are gross. I sense Tom's giddy air of power when 15 girl laughs at something not quite funny. Tom bumping against her on purpose, 15 girl making like she hates it. About the sweet night lightness of what could be better than this. For a moment, I imagined being unconcerned with the horrors of the world, idiocy, you name it, as I inform the emptying parking lot that what matters are these nights after the, what was the name of the movie anyway, show, when Tom's jacket, reeking of Dad's borrowed brute, chases the cold from 15 girls' shoulders. What matters is that two electrically charged hands accidentally touch in the monster bucket of popcorn, graze each other's denim thigh. What matters is that these almost adults suit up in search of an adult experience, return home with the splendidly ridiculous notion that nobody has ever felt like this before. Yes? Two more, okay. Well, that's hard. Reader's Digest, page 28. These all have similar things to them, but I'm just picking them willy-nilly. Reader's Digest, if anybody is old enough to remember Reader's Digest, the magazine. We dated in high school, steadily, sweatily. Now families, careers, SUVs of our own. We both live in the greater Akron area, so we bump into each other maybe twice, 3 times a year, only rekindling the Reader's Digest condensed version of a relationship, this time at the Mini Mart on Grand. We pump gas, follow up with 2 minutes of conversation, punctuated with nervous gestures, eyeballs furtively meeting, then quickly swiveling toward the floor. Nabbing some packaged snacks, we wait for the teenage girl with rings on every finger to ring it up. Beep, beep, Jay's chips. Beep, 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 planters beep, peanuts, and the chat is as plastic as the restroom sign. Yeah, it's been very warm for November. Haven't heard when it's supposed to. I haven't heard a single intelligible word. But I'm close enough to know that he still smells like a green field, wears sunglasses on dark days. Wait, is that a diamond stud in his ear? He was so homophobic back then. He'd never do jewelry. Well then, let us pay. And the last one I will leave you with is for Puck. Hi, Puck. We have to figure out what page it's on, 27. So, as a Jew, it does not mean I don't go to churches. I've played more Christmas masses and funerals, and I've been to lots of, and this one is called After the Sermon. So at 10 minutes past in the chilly church basement on potluck Sunday, gray meatloaf, grayer potatoes, 3-bean salad, Pastor Whitman's unattached family friend and bookkeeper, taller than is comfortable for a woman, Marjorie, who has been conspicuously absent from services since who knows when, storms into the smooth-floored Methodist mess hall, fiddles uneasily with her tortoiseshell head comb, the one etched with a red-throated loon that her niece really likes, throws herself to her knees, tries to hold back full-bodied sobs. Just about all munching and mumbled pleasantries screech to a halt as Marjorie admits to the congregated that hell is where she belongs, for she has been loving Pastor Whitman in a man-inside-woman sort of a way for the last 18 months. And that was alarming, wasn't it? And even as she confesses, she daydreams his jittery hands fumbling inside her blouse and places southward. Marjorie rubs her mascara-ringed eyes, brings news that she is carrying his fetal parishioner. But she wants to come clean. Most park their forks on the long tables and gasp. Pastor W. almost chokes on his snickerdoodle as his eyes avoid his wife's face, probably white as a Minnesota winter by now. But Mrs. Morgan, who works at Joann Fabrics, and her friend Betty Hayes from Thursday Night Knitting Circle continue to sip their coffee. These two obedient pew fillers of the flock have known since they laid narrow-slitted eyes on Marjorie 2 years ago that she was a home wrecker, that their innocent pastor, not capable of instigating wrongdoing, would fall prey to her wiles. Oh, yes. But they still brim with faith that their Lord is benevolent, fair, will open up his forgiving heart to this duet of sinners, and somehow understand that humans work in mysterious ways. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now,
Do you want to take questions? I just asked her if she wanted to take any questions.
what's my favorite color or stuff like that?
Does anybody have any questions
No,
for Claudia?
They don't care.
What's
See?
your favorite color?
Purple. I love purple. What do you say?
Cadet blue.
No. Okay, everybody's cool? Oh, yeah.
What school did you go to in Wisconsin?
I went to Shorewood High School in Shorewood, Wisconsin, and then I went to University of Milwaukee, Milwaukee, or we called it University Without Much, or University of Wanton Materialism, or what else do we call? Oh, UCLA, University close to the lake, Anna. That was the name. So yeah, I lived in Milwaukee for 9 years, and he's from Milwaukee. Anyway. I know that. West Allis, right? Yeah.
Any other questions?
Claudia,
Yes.
you knew at a very early age that you were a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and you spent years and years and years perfecting your art. When did it dawn on you that you were a writer?
I hid a lot of my stuff away. And, I started writing 12, 13, 14. But I was too busy trying to get the notes right and stuff, and I didn't think that I had any talent for it, and it was you. It was you that said, go for it. And thank you. Yes?
I wonder, have you ever considered, because I know you play the piano, you have so many talents.
Oh, blah.
Have you ever considered, like, doing like a piano bar kind of thing where you play the piano and you lead your stuff?
Yeah.
I think that would be so wonderful.
You know, it's funny. I always thought of the arts as one at a time. And I do enjoy the poetry readings that people have stuff in the background and all that, but I don't know. I just feel sort of like a purist that way. But not that I don't do that stuff at home. But I mean, I would never think of it as an actual thing to do in public. So, yeah.
You should.
Okay.
Have you ever done stand-up? You have a wonderful...
I've always wanted to. My whole life I've wanted to. No, I have not. No.
Absolutely. You do need to do stand-up.
No, it's...
Absolutely.
Well, she did stand up tonight.
Yeah, and it's not feeling great. I'll have you know. You should see me walk the stairs. That's a comedy act right there. But no, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Claudia,
Yeah.
when and why did you leave Brooklyn? Your parents left Brooklyn?
My dad wanted a real job.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. Both my parents were professional musicians, and did Carnegie Hall and all that kind of stuff, and classical music, and very well known in that genre, but not famous, you know. But he was relying on the phone, my dad, for dates to get, like, he would do shows and he would do backup music. He even did something with Ruby and the Romantics, which was a rock group way back before the wheel was invented. And I couldn't be on the phone because he'd always be waiting for a gig to come in. And he got asked to do a professorship at University of Wisconsin. And so we left. And I didn't know, what is that place? Are there cows in their backyard? It was really, and I had a very thick accent at that time, and I got very made fun of.
Can you slip into that accent?
Well, I think I could try doing that for a moment, but I don't know how. Yeah, when I talk to my friend Sherry Levine from 34th Street, I still slip into it sometimes. Yeah. Like I said, I have very little common sense. I can't drive a car properly. I don't do that kind of stuff, but like voices and things like that was always my thing. So anyway, so we moved, and it sucked. But then I met him, and things were good. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, books are.
Thank you. Yes, they're $300. Yeah.
According to Claudia, $15 a book, but for you, $300 a book. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all for coming, and have a great, great night. All right?